Hi there, I'm Natalie from Immaculate Confections, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful little floral posy based on the movie Beauty and the Beast. We've got lovely red rose, some lovely blue bits, but the absolute best thing about this, and I still love it even all these years later, is that we use birthday cake candles to construct a teeny tiny yet functioning candelabra. So make sure you watch to the end and see that in action. You will find all the tools and equipment and colours I've used on our website, which is immaculateconfections.co.uk, and do come over to Facebook, search for Natalie's Cake Studio and join our very friendly group of lovely cake makers. You'll find links to both in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoy creating your own tiny candelabra. Good evening, hello, greetings and salutations, my flowery friends. How was that? I've been working on my intros. These are the bits we're going to do. So I have got some leaves, we've got don't break it, a rose. So these are my like blue fabric-y fan things because it needed something blue, obviously, like for the Beast suit. It's a good suit that he has. And I couldn't really think of what to make blue. I was going to do blue leaves, but then that would then lose like the proper rosiness of the rose. So I've made these fabric things that we'll dust and we'll see how they look. I have made this gold fleur-de-lis thing because I wanted something ornate and regal looking and slightly architectural because like the castle and the ballroom and all the rest of it. And then the last bit, and this is the bit that may or may not work, we will see, is I have constructed well, I've not yet constructed, but in theory these two, and there is a third one, by the time I'm done, hopefully is going to turn itself into a functioning miniature candelabra a la Lumiere. So we will see how that goes down the line. But let us, for now, I think, start with our rose. So I've got some red flower paste. It's Squire's, as always. That's it out of the packet, and the first thing we are going to do, of course, is make it a nicer red, because let's be honest, this is a fairly naff red. And for this, I don't want it too dark, so all I'm going to do is just pop some magenta in it. That might be a little generous. I do. So I'll stick some magenta in, and hopefully as I mix that, you'll see that it's going to take on a much nicer looking colour. A rosier colour, if you will. Haha. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this out. We are doing the 10cm cutter on a 25mm poly ball. I've popped a wire on these just because I think it's going to make the arrangement easier, and a little bit of hot glue to secure it in place as normal. And I just want a single petal and then two of our 5-petal shapes. So I'm just going to cut those now. Right, so just a little bit of corn flour so that we're moving. As always, it's relatively thin, but not so thin that it is falling to pieces. And it is, so for these, this is on the thicker side, just for sake of speed. But you want it like at most about 1 millimetre. Thickness of paste is one of those really hard things to illustrate because I can never think of anything thin enough to make a comparison. So like about the thickness of a piece of card, I think, something like that. So first thing we want to do is turn our ball into a bud shape. So we're just going to wet the top there. I've made a little cone of paste in the same colour, and we can just squish that on. And this is not a precise thing because we're going to hide it and cover it up completely with the petal. But you just want to make sure that you've got a nice shape, that it's not too tall and it's not too short. So we are going to use a ball tool or the end of your rolling pin, whichever you prefer, around the edge there. And can you see that I'm just doing that top edge and you're just looking for a soft wave. So ball tooled around that top edge, nice soft wave. I'm going to turn it over, wet the bottom half, because we're going to put this on sideways, so it's half going that way, and if I give it a wibble you can see it just there. And then we're going to pop it on. You want about 1/4 of an inch of petals sticking up above the top of the bud, and then we'll do the pointy end first. It's going to come round, and can you see that I'm sort of stretching it a little bit and whatnot as I go? Bit of extra water just there to get that stuck down. And the trick with these is you got to make sure that it's really tight, so my petal is touching the bud all the way around there. And if you've got that first bit curled in really tight, it's pretty easy to bring that second side round and get that nice little curl in the middle. This is the part that takes just a little bit of practice, but it's there, and don't be worried to sort of stretch it and shape it as you need to. So I'm going to take my first 5 petal shape, and we're going to do the same thing. You're just going to go around those edges, and we're looking for a nice soft wave. Oh, I've squashed these together. Let's unpeel them. There we are. And then this one, and then this one, and we've just got one more there. And again, you can see that by and large we're looking, this one's a little heavy there. You're just looking for that soft wave because we're going to shape it as we attach them. So you don't want it too frilly, or it's going to be difficult to shape it and get it to do what you want it to do. I'm going to use the Rapid Rose. What is this? I should know. Our little green baby. We're going to pop our petals upside down on there, wet the centre, and then just do that line up each edge. Pop your rosebud through the middle, through the hole in the pad, and then as you can see it holds the holds those petals up. So pick one to start with, pretty much any one, it doesn't matter, and attach one side of it like that. We will spin it round, take an opposite one, and attach the same side. So now we've got these 2 little wings, and then we're going to bring one wing round and attach it on that side, and then the other one comes round on top there. And actually this is a good point to zoom in. So can you see that I could do with it being a bit longer, but we can just grab it and stretch it a little bit as we put it on. So now we've got 3 open bits, and just like we did before, we're going to pop that on top there, that on top there, and that on top there. And we can take it off of that, squeeze the back down, and can you see there's a couple of little gaps, and you can see where I've torn it a bit. Don't worry about that because that's going to get hidden. It's much quicker. And this one again, we're just going to go around those edges, get a nice soft wave, and we can do, if we just do little circles in the middle, we can make those petals just a tiny bit bigger. Right, so for this one, we are just going to curl those edges back in advance just a little bit, and it's just because it's going to make that next, attaching this next row a little easier. So I'm going to pop it upside down. As you can probably guess, water in the middle and a line up each edge. Pop that through the middle. And we're going to do the same thing. So we'll take one and attach that one side of it again. We can take the next one, pop that edge just inside, and then this one comes round on top. And we'll do the same with the next one. So that goes just inside, and then this edge comes on top, and then this one goes just inside, that goes on top there, and then our last one, that goes just inside, that goes on top, and then your final open petal should go and sit there just on top of the very first one you attached, and that is our rose. Just remember, squeeze where the ball is, which is here. Don't squeeze the top of it, because that is how it will, it'll get squashed. I'm not going to add any more petals onto this one because I didn't want it to be too big, because we've got quite a lot else going on. But what I will do is just go round with the pokey stick, alternatively known as the Dresden tool, spoon end, and I'm just making sure, I'm just slipping it inside there to make sure that the inside edge of my petals is nicely affixed, so that I can then come and just open it all out just a little bit. So even though it is a little rose, it is still quite sort of bloomy. So I'm just going to cut him out there. I don't know why I've rolled out such a big bit of paste, because I'm just going to make the one to show you. So we've cut our leaf out. I'm just going to pop it on there, and I'm going to take a ball tool and just go around those edges. And as always for the leaves, you want to go bottom to top, up each side, so that you are accentuating the way that the leaf grows. If you were to do it side to side or straight up and down only, you would end up with a bit of a funny shape. So one side and then the other. So you can pop our veiner on and press it nice and firmly, and then that gives us our little leaf there. And then I like to just use my ball tool just the once more on each side, and you see it's put that shape back so that it's not a sort of static thing. Right, and then we're going to make the paste into a little sausage. Insert the wire into the sausage and then just twist it down. So you're just pressing nice and firmly. This hand's doing the spinning, this one is just stopping it from sort of going all over the place, and offers enough resistance that I can twist that up and down. Right. And then we'll just run a little bit of glue up the back of that, and then we can just press our leaf on top. And then if you wish, you can give it a little pinch at the bottom so that you've got a nice finish on it, just there. And then I like to give a little twist this way or that way. I try to avoid doing them too curled over backwards or frontwards. I just tend to prefer a little bit of a sideways twist, and then we can just pop it down to dry. So we just want to cut a square, or a more or less square or rectangle, which could be way easier with the cutting wheel than the knife. I'll just trim this off here and here. And then we need to fold it up. So do be super gentle, because we don't want to break it. And you definitely want to fold it, but don't press it as you fold it, because you don't want it to stick together. Yeah, we're just sort of pleating it. And then once we've done that, there you go, open it back up. And can you see that it's got those folds in it now? Long. We want them to be about the same length as that there. So I'm actually just going to use my water pen to wet those rather than dipping it in the glue, because I think just dipping it wouldn't be enough. We'll insert that, and then we just want to wind that all the way down. And if you're sticking, remember you can always use a little bit of petal base. And then what I shall do is take a little bit of glue and we'll run it up there. And then I want to put this, we're going to pop one at this end and press it down quite firmly. I could, in fact, make life slightly easier by painting the piece of flower paste. And note that this one that's in the middle I have put into one of the creases there, and then we just want the last one on the edge. And I'm hoping this will work. It worked twice earlier, although there's no guarantee that it's going to work whilst I'm live doing this. So we've got our 3 twiddles attached, and you can see they're nicely attached there. The one on this side, we just need to bend out that way a little bit. And the one on that side, we need to bend that way slightly. So that when we crinkle this back up, and do you see it's going nice and easily because it sort of remembers where we did it beforehand. Because we've put the bends in those wires, when we hold those 3 together, we now get this sort of fan effect. And then, yeah, look, you get these nice little fans, and you can just sort of curve it so that that's in. You can curve over that top edge as well if you want, so that we've not got a hard bit just there, like a hard line. And then those we will tape together. So I've got some yellow, but because we're going to paint it gold, to be honest, you could do this in any colour. And to make these little fleur-de-lis thingies, we're going to roll it out relatively thick. And then I made a mixture of sizes using the medium and the larger of the Calyx set that we've got on the website. And like I said, it's quite thick. I'll turn this on the end so that you can see. Oh. Yeah, look, can you see there? It is on the thick side, but we want that because it's going to be like, we want a bit of substance to it, basically. And then we're going to take the blade tool and just pop a little impression down the spine of each leaf, petal, bit, I'm not sure. And then with the knife, just cut them into there, into some separate bits. Again, it doesn't matter what colour it is because we're going to paint them. And I'm going to do it with a candle. If you don't like doing it with a candle, then you could totally do this with glue. You would just need to leave them longer to dry. Take one of them, the pointy end, so not the end where you've cut it, but the other end. So with the pointy end, just roll it down and curl it over. Can you see like that? Put that down. And then we'll take the little wire, just heat it up for a small moment in the candle, and just insert that into the bottom. We can give that bottom bit a little press and a twist and a twiddle just so that we've got a neat end. And again, just curl that end over a little bit more. So then our last bit to actually make is the thing that is either going to be awesome or a total disaster. So this is the bits of our soon to be miniature candelabra. This is so you just need a holder for a birthday candle. So we have that, and I want a little length of 20 gauge wire. So that's wire that is nice and thick and heavy. So I've got the tape on. I'm going to take my little candle holder, hold it alongside, and just tape this on really, really well. And I just want to very carefully tape it all the way around the top of the cup and then down onto the stem again. And the reason that I have done that is just because I know that I can paint over tape and it will hold. I don't know if I wasn't sure if the paint would stick to the plastic. So that is now firmly attached on there. And again, it's not as thick as it was before, but it's not like flour thin, it's thicker than that. And we're just going to use our littlest calyx. Put that out. And then a little blossom. And this is probably about 1 centimetre, this blossom. But this is one of those things, like, use what you got. If you've not got the exact same thing or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all about making the shapes and creating the shape and style of it. So with the calyx and a little glue, I'm just going to run some glue down each petal, each leaf of the calyx, whatever we'll call it. And I'm just going to pop that in the centre and pull the calyx all the way up so that I can attach the petals onto the little candle cup. I've decided that's what we're going to call it now. The little blossom, same thing. Cover that with some glue. pierce the middle, and then we'll run this up just underneath the cup so that it meets the bottom of the calyx, and you can give it like just a little spin and a little twist, and it doesn't look like much now, but once it's painted it looks quite fancy, I think, quite Lumiere-ish. So I've got to tape up my little fleur-de-lis thing. So I've just got some quarter width tape, and again the colour isn't important because we're going to paint over it. I'm going to take another one, just bend it just there so it's bending with the curl, and attach that to the side there. Wrap the tape round, bend one the other way, like so. So this, because I knew it was going to be like a bit of an awkward thing taping it together and that, I decided it would be better to paint it after it was all attached, because then that way I'm painting the stem at the same time as painting the thingies, as opposed to painting the little thingies, taping it together, and then having to go over again and paint the stem. So I thought I'd just do it all at once. And then we just need to do the same thing again with this. Now I'm not going to paint actually like in the little cup, obviously, because I think that would just get awful messy. But again, you can be quite liberal with it to make sure that you've got it in all the kind of cracks and crevices and stuff around those shapes. So if we do the rose first, and I think I'm going to try a combination of ruby and violet pink so that we get that slightly sort of pinky tone to it, because I'm still not convinced that the rose in this movie is red. But you're right, it is, like in my head it's definitely red, I just don't know if it actually is. So here is the one that I made earlier. I'm going to bend the wire out of the way. Oh, let's put that down. Helps if you actually open the pops first. So yes, this is the ruby red and the violet pink. I'm going to start off with the red just on the edges, and it's probably, I don't know, it might do, if it doesn't show up terribly much on the video, this is one of those things where you will always get a better intensity of colour off your dusts than you do on the flower paste alone, because as the flower paste dries it always ends up looking just a little bit lackluster where it's obviously lost the moisture. So even if you are dusting the same colour on top, it's always worth doing the dusts because it does sort of enliven and enrich those colours. So I'm just being fairly imprecise here with my red all over. I'm hoping that if I do a little bit of this, so you can see it's a really bright pinky colour, but with the red I'm hoping that it is going to give us just a little bit a little bit of something, find some words, a little bit of what. It's just going to make it look more interesting, because these edges are going to look a little bit almost like they're glowing slightly. You can't quite see the difference in the colour necessarily. It's not like putting pink on top of a pale pink or something, but it does make a difference. And I'm just catching those edges and just drawing the colour in a little bit. For the leaves, again, I'm going to keep it simplish, so I'm just going to use some of the deep green. I've got a few that I made earlier, and I think for these I might just bring some colour up the centre and then kind of out towards the edges. So it's not a massive amount of dust on these. I mean, rose leaves aren't life-changingly complex in their colouring, and we can always take a little red and pop just a hint of red or a little bit of the pink, or you can see like it's literally just what you got left on your paper. I think that I want to go for, I don't want the bluest blue because that's too bright. I think the royal blue and the navy blue, and the royal blue is just, it's a really cool colour. So this one as well, it's one of those non-edible but non-toxic jobbies, and again it's like it's only in the EU that it's non-edible. Rest of the world you're okay. So some of this, and I think if we bring it just down from that edge, is that showing up, Chris? Because it is just intensifying the colour beautifully. And then I'll take a little bit of navy as well. And then this, I just want to dust in the cracks. So we're just sort of accentuating the shadows that you get from the fact that it's pleated anyway. I'm not sure exactly why I'm doing this bit, but I feel like accentuating the shadows is the right thing to do, even though, strictly speaking, I'm not entirely sure what this is. But it's a thing, and it's going to have deeper shadows, and I might even grab the black and mix just a teensy tiny bit in with the navy to make a really, really deep blue, like almost black blue, and then just get that, that's it, right in there. Start off with the rose in the middle, so let's get some tape attached to him. So I'll put a little bend in the leaves there, just hold it alongside and wrap the tape round. If we sit a gold bit in front of the blue bit, it looks proper like regalish, and I think that that is what is going to help these two particular elements look a little bit less peculiar together. So let me just whack some tape on this so that they stay together. So I want it to sit about there, but so that it's a not such a strange and annoying shape, what I've got to do is bend the wire this way to move it away from the rose, and then like that. So can you see I've got this sort of kink in it just here, and that means that it can sit, in fact the rose can come forwards a little bit, and that can lean over, so it can sit about here, I think. So this is one of those times that I'm just going to bring my tape all the way down, just so that I know that all of this sort of an initial core bit of the design is all affixed and secure. Now, so that is there, and that kind of works actually. It's not. I wasn't sure. I knew there needed to be some blue, and I wasn't really sure how to make there be blue. So we ended up with these weird sort of napkin things, but it kind of works. Okay, so this, I just want to feed it in so that it is sitting sort of in front of that bit there, and then I'm just going to use a ton of tape to make sure that it is attached, and then hopefully.
Yeah, Liz says it has a Spanishy feel, and I can't agree actually.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's the it's those fabricy bits, because these, I think, you could turn those into a sort of fan type shape to be something oriental-ish. There it is there. It does look kind of cool. Ah, yeah, there is something flamenco-y about it. You're right. You are right. I just couldn't think how else to put the blue in, and I just wanted to do something different than just like, oh, let's just shove some, blue filler flowers at it. And thankfully, come on. So there you go. We have set fire to the sugar craft. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. You're all awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you very soon. And yeah, thank you. Good night. Take care. I hope you enjoyed that video. Do join us on Facebook in our group Natalie's Cake Studio, link is in the description, where you can ask any questions, get any help you need, and of course share your work, which I love to see. You'll find all your tools and equipment on our website, immaculateconfections.co.uk, and of course do like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be very grateful if you do. See you again soon.